What's up, everyone? Michael Martin from Yahoo Esports here, and I am joined by the new Echo Fox FGC manager, Antonio Cool Gray AJ Javier. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. You looking pretty good in that orange.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'd like to think so too.
Yeah. Traded blue for orange. I guess a big bombshell dropped that we know by now. Justin Wong, Momochi, Chocoblanca, Tokido, Sonic Fox, Scar, MK Leo, and yourself are joining Echo Fox.
Yeah. It's
What's your hot
like
take on that?
I honestly like from the outside looking in, like just looking at that roster, I wouldn't even believe it until I actually see these players wearing the orange. You know what I mean? Like that just all seems too ridiculous.
It's like a top eight.
It is, right? It is. Like
You know what? We talked a while back, and you
yes.
told me not too long ago, after leaving Evil Geniuses, that you'd come back in a heartbeat.
I would.
Now, I wasn't expecting it to be with Echo Fox. So my question to you is, when they asked, how fast did that decision come?
It actually came. It was a process, right?
Okay.
Like like through our talk last year, that I wasn't just going to leave my job at Twitch without anything that's equally as good for my family,
Right.
not just myself, right? Like you're a parent yourself, so family comes first.
Yep.
And Echo Fox actually came to me with the prospect of managing their fighting games team. And when they told me what their plans were, of course I was taken aback. Like even then in my head, I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, Tokido, Justin, like how is that even possible? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So of course in my head, I'm thinking to myself, good God, if I was going to come back and manage a team, this would be it. But in thinking about my family and thinking about how I was going to provide for them, of course, I wasn't just going to do that as like a passion thing. Like I
Right.
wanted to be able to provide for them.
Yeah.
So TLDR, this is Echo Fox came to me and said, "Look, man, we know you. We know this is your passion. This is what you love to do, and we would love to make this happen for you in any way possible." They literally asked me for what I wanted, and I got it.
Yeah. They backed the truck up.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people know or understand the role of an FGC manager. And I wondered if you could briefly describe what your role is at Echo Fox and how important it is to have someone like yourself managing this superstar team.
So to kind of, I mean, not really necessarily backtracking for a minute here, but my role at Evil Geniuses was obviously to manage the players. A lot of that is going to be transferred over to Echo Fox plus some, right? The primary role I have at Echo Fox is to make sure that my players are all competing at the top level.
Right.
And what that means is making sure that they have comfortable flights, good accommodations for their hotels, making sure that they're at venues at very specific times, and really just like the verb suggests, manage them to the point where they don't have to worry about anything other than competing, right? Because if you're a top level player, the last thing you want to worry about is missing a flight, not having the correct reservations at your hotel, worrying about like who you're rooming with, et cetera, et cetera. Like I know what that's like. So in really kind of a different way to explain it is I wouldn't want them to go through what I wouldn't want to go through when I'm
Right.
traveling. So that's essentially being transferred over from EG to Echo Fox. Another layer that was introduced to me at Echo Fox, which is something I'm super excited about, is a lot of creative freedom over the team itself.
Okay.
Which means I'd have basically complete control over who I have on the roster, who I don't have on the roster.
Okay.
So expect the team to to be making plenty of moves. I mean, not like in the immediate future, because obviously
Right.
the roster right now is stellar.
Right.
Um, but expect a little bit more movement from me and Echo Fox than I did with the EG.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of leads me to my question. How much involvement did you have sort of building this team? And of course, it seems like you're going to have a lot of hands-on involvement in the future in building this team. Uh, but based on this roster right now, how much input did you have in that?
Most everyone in the roster was pretty much already set
Okay.
when I came on board. Like I said, when Jason and I talked about me managing the team, one of his selling points was the robust roster that they
Right.
have. But I did add a couple other players
Okay.
into the roster. So yeah,
Can you say who?
Choco Momochi.
Okay.
Love those guys to death.
That's not a
And
bad pull.
it's not, I've worked with them for a very long time now.
Yep.
And Choco is someone I consider to be family.
Yep.
And I know that she considers both me and Justin kind of in the same vein.
Mhm.
They're already very good friends with Tokido, so it was just a super logical choice to make.
Yeah. You've talked about this in the past. I know they have as well. The idea that Evil Geniuses was family. Very hard for you to leave them at the time. How does it feel to be back with this part evil genius, former evil genius crew, but also you got some new faces that you get to kind of interact with and manage, throughout 2017.
It's kind of bittersweet, because, and this is where you're gonna get me all choked up now.
I can hear it already.
So I definitely, and everyone that knows me knows that I cherish my time with Evil Geniuses the most.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because we built a pretty tight knit family,
Hmm.
and that's something I would love to replicate and aim to replicate at Echo Fox.
Sure.
And I think that in having Justin Choco Momochi aboard with me at the helm, I think we're already kind of on that track, because the four of us are already kind of on that mindset,
Yeah.
that's just how we expect to operate things. So when I get into more talks with guys like Tokido, Julio, Mewtwo King, all these guys, I my goal is just to make this whole process of becoming a family as organic as possible, because you're not just going to force people into a family type of environment. Like, you could
Right.
just, like, people could just say that and not really deliver on it.
Yeah.
And while I'm not like a savant at like creating a family type of environment, my aim is really to make everyone as comfortable as possible. And the best way to do that is to make everyone as comfortable as possible with each other. That's like, that's stage one.
Yeah. I think it should be noted also that, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have also re-signed Julio and Mewtwo King,
Yep.
Street Fighter V and Smash
Indeed.
Melee.
Yep.
Switching gears real quick, what do you think Echo Fox is doing in its approach different for the FGC and esports?
I think that they're really shooting for the moon here. Obviously, with blockbuster signings like Tokido and Justin, like those two alone, like,
Yeah.
tells you a lot about what they're trying to accomplish. In signing those guys, they want to win.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that they got me on board to keep these guys in the same kind of goal and mindset. I mean, not to. I mean, I hate talking about myself. Like, it gets on my nerves. But I am someone that came into EG and won, what is it, like 6 or 7 global tournaments.
Yeah.
Which is something that I don't think a lot of people can say. So I think that in their decisions to sign us all, really all at the same time, and in the new year, It says a lot about what they want to accomplish in this space.
Yeah.
And it also says, hey, we're not only serious about getting serious about the fighting game community, but
Yeah.
we're in this for the long haul. And I think that's probably the best way for me to explain that.
Since you said that, what is it that you and Echo Foxes are doing to ensure sort of the long-term success of both your players and the team itself?
I think what we both want to do, and when I say me, I mean myself and Echo Fox ownership,
Sure.
is we're trying to really just kind of monitor what's been going on in the fighting game community. Perfect example of this is with Choco and Momochi.
Hmm.
They're not just solid players in their own right, I mean, especially Momochi.
Right.
But they're also players that are looking out for the general well-being of the community.
Right.
For people that follow Choco Momochi, they have their own company, Shinobism,
Hmm.
who which they like up to this point they've funded themselves,
Yeah.
and it's a program that trains the younger generation into becoming top level players for the future. That's something that I definitely love about them, and that's
Hmm.
certainly something that, I mean, not to like spoil anything, wink wink, but that's certainly something we want to do more of.
Sure.
And that's definitely kind of the direction we want to take this. We want to be a solid team that
Right.
is out to win tournaments, but also B, we have players that aren't just looking out for themselves. Like, these are guys that are all very in tune with the community and very much mentors and role models to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like Echo Fox recognized that. I certainly recognize that. So these are all people that kind of share the same thing in common, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we talked to Justin recently, and I was half joking, but he said he was when I asked him, he said he was contemplating leaving his job and moving
Mm.
to SoCal. So I don't know if you've talked to him about this, but I maybe kind of assume you have. What do you think a move if he did that? What do you think a move like that would do for his career?
If he moved to SoCal,
Yeah.
um,
Left his job because as you know as well as many people, the guy competes full time, he streams,
mhm.
he works full time. As soon as he's done with the tournament, he's flying back home so he can show up to work Monday morning.
Hmm.
If he left that behind, moved back to SoCal because he says SoCal's the best, uh, what do you what do you think that would do for his career?
First of all, SoCal is not the best. I
Oh
love
boy.
SoCal, but I'm a NorCal. I'm a NorCal dude. My
Okay.
wife is from SoCal. We get into this a lot. But in saying that, I think that, I mean, in any situation, if Justin chooses to leave his full time job, and just competed on a full time level,
Sure.
if he stayed in NorCal or went to, wait, I said NorCal, right? If he
Yes.
stayed in NorCal or went to SoCal, I think
Mhm.
the effect is going to be pretty similar, because there's killers in NorCal, there's killers
Sure.
in SoCal. What you'll get out of Justin leaving his full time job is a lot of practice, a
Hmm.
lot of locals. Um, and as everyone knows in the community, like, NorCal and SoCal have a pretty solid hub.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that, I mean, I feel like I feel like if Justin chose to, just be able to travel to both NorCal and SoCal wherever he lived, or even
Yeah.
out to like Japan or New York, wherever, he'll have plenty of opportunity to practice with top level players at
Yeah.
any given time.
Sounds like it would be a positive move for him, but also a move that would help sort of nurture whatever local scene that he's involved in anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I remember fondly, like, when I was still writing for Evil Geniuses,
Hmm.
going to Wednesday night fights,
Hmm.
back at Super Arcade,
Yeah.
and like even back in like ballrooms and stuff, right? Um, Justin would be there from time to time, and like the quality of play just was good, and it was amazing. Not
Yeah.
that it's amazing with that, not that it isn't amazing without Justin, But, having a top level player there, it just naturally makes people feel like, oh, well, I got to step up.
Yeah.
I can't just bring my B game or like play pocket characters and win Wednesday night fights. I got to be on top. So, I feel like I definitely agree. Wherever he goes, quality of play just goes up.
Yeah. All right, last question for you. You were the architect of, as you mentioned, many global championships. Obviously, the players went out and did their thing, but you helped build that. Understanding that you want to sort of replicate as best as you can something similar at Echo Fox. What are your expectations for the players and this team in 2017? Is it fair to you guys are gonna have a target on your back? Is it fair to expect things like Evos and Capcom Cups?
I think that so I don't like setting super high expectations of anyone.
Sure.
Even in EG, I didn't expect anything from any of my players aside from them being happy.
Hmm.
When players are happy, they just naturally play at their highest level. In saying that, I just want to do the same thing at Echo Fox. I mean, what
Yeah.
was successful at EG should be successful here too. Now, I'm not saying that I'm content with how I manage things at EG. I'm not saying
Right.
that it was perfect by any means, but I feel like that's what I'm most comfortable with. Um, I certainly am going to have to step out of my comfort zone a little bit and push the guys a little more. But I'm not going to make a complete 180 just because I'm on a new team and expectation, like there might be other expectations there of ownership,
Yeah.
but at the same time they brought me on for a purpose, and they understand that I I had results at EG.
Hmm.
And if you want to talk about expectations, I do expect myself to succeed in this position.
Yeah.
I do expect the players to compete at a high level. As far as winning tournaments, that's just a happy side bonus. I just want these players to be happy. And like we were talking about earlier, I want to build a family type of unit at Echo Fox.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want another reason to get choked up when I talk about Echo Fox, like in the former, right?
Right.
Not saying that I'm leaving anytime soon. Like I'm in a fantastic position here.
Yeah.
But we're in there.
Yeah. Echo Fox, Cool Gray, AJ. How's that sound?
It's so weird still.
Uh,
But it feels good. It feels good to be
AJ,
back.
it's good to see you back in the game.
Thank you.
I wish you guys all the best in 2017, and I'm looking forward to, of course, seeing you and all the players out competing this year in the various tournaments and circuits. Thanks for your time, and again, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.